Good afternoon, Professor.
Good afternoon, Caroline. Good to see you. Good to hear you. Thank you. Awesome.
Good afternoon, Professor.
Good afternoon, Savannah. Good to hear you. Good to see you. And good afternoon, Amanda. Oh, I'm jumping the gun. I'm so out of place. Okay. But good afternoon, Amanda. Good afternoon, Caitlin. Good afternoon. Okay. But great to hear. Thank you, guys. And good deals. Okay. And good. All right. I'm doing it. See, it's a new semester. It's all the same, yet it's totally different. I'm going to do still the visuals first. Good afternoon, Kevin. Good afternoon, Amy. Amy C. I'm doing the chat. Okay, wait, the chat. Hold on. But it is great to. Good afternoon, Stephen, and welcome to the fold, to the machine, to the crazy community that this is. Good afternoon, oh, I just called this a community. That is so presumptuous. Oh, and I lost my board. See, I called a community, and my board runs screaming. It's like, I didn't join a community. I just want to be me. All right, I have to bring my board back. Sorry. Hold on. And other people are in the waiting room. Sorry. Hold on. Okay. If I hold on. Wait, sorry, and there's other people in the way. Oh, and some new people. All right, but hold on. The board just disappeared again. It's so upsetting. Actually, I'm going to admit something here, or not admit. I'm going to ask for help. The Professor Other Walters is trying to help me with this because my board is a it's not an iPad, it's a tablet, but my computer is a Mac. If I'll just say this straight up, I love my board, and I'm not going to get a new one, but I know why it always. But as you might know, or as you can tell, here's my board. I could, okay, this is like not a joke. This is actually an appeal if anybody has any help that wants to maybe text me or chat. The deal with the board is, as you can see, it always has to zoom in as its own. My board is separately zooming in as though it were a different user, which is fine, except it does take up it takes up all of this space, as you can see. But also it means that it's constantly dropping off the Zoom connection. All of which is just to say this. I know there's a better way to do this. I know that my board could just be read directly from my computer. Like if I just plugged the tablet into the computer and just had it screen sharing, so to speak, before I was even zooming, and then I just zoomed. This is so boring and so stupid, but it's possible that one of you actually knows how to solve this. So I know the right way. Oh, there it goes again. Okay, I'm just going to say this just in case someone can help. I know the right way to do this is just to have my board independently, like sharing its screen with my computer, the same way that you would plug in a separate monitor or something to a computer, and then just zoom in and screen share the board. I know that's the better way. Then it wouldn't take two Zoom users and two Wi-Fi connections and all of that, or two, that much Wi-Fi bandwidth. That would be the better way. And that's the way Professor Walters, Male Walters does it. Joe Walters did it. But because my tablet is a Samsung tablet and my computer is a Mac, it's trickier than it's totally possible, but it's just hard enough for me to pull off. Like it involves going into the terminal and using Homebrew and all those things that, or at least so far as I know it does. There's a long way of saying I'm not making excuses, but I wish I could just interface my board without the Zoom. But if any of you happens to be Mac users, but also Samsung tablet users, or you're just like those kind of people that are, if you happen to know what I'm talking about and you ever want to text me any insights or patches or help with how to get this going, I would be, maybe I should open a portal for that. It would certainly benefit the whole class. If any of you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, this is all but anyway, until that happens, I keep losing my board. It never used to happen, but it is now. But here we go. I'm going to start again. Anyway, we're going to start. Sorry. And I'm going to go back to the hellos. That was a little bit of a digression, but yeah, it would be great if my board didn't just keep doing this. All right. So I was saying hello to everybody. I was saying hello to Stephen, who is welcome. It's great to have you. That's when this all had, right? Kevin, hello. Amanda and Kevin, welcome back. Caitlin, welcome back. Amy, Amy K, welcome back. Amy C, well, Amanda K, Caitlin K, welcome back. Amy C, welcome back. Erica, great to see you. Welcome. Adan, welcome back. Sumaya, welcome back. Rashman, welcome back. I'm gonna get myself in trouble now, aren't I? This is why people don't do this. All right, I'm gonna just tiptoe back slowly away. Irini, hello and good afternoon and welcome. Evan, hello and good afternoon and welcome. Jose, good afternoon and welcome back. Euban, welcome back. Yes, you got the section worked out. That's good. I get it. I think we're all good. I think Kirsten, welcome back. They both spelled it different ways, but I won't point it. Anyway, Katya, welcome back. Good afternoon. Okay. This is enough of this. We really have to start doing physics, don't we? Okay, yes. Closed caption, cool. Who else did I not say hello to? But yes, Rashman, welcome. Erica, welcome. Stephen, welcome. Oh, Mackenzie, welcome. Who else did I not get? Estrella, welcome. Who else did I not get? Did I say Evan? I think I did. I think that's everybody. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Estrella. Yes. Good afternoon. And tell me if I'm mispronouncing. Oh, and here comes the interruption from my son. Yes, if we ever get to this. Good. Yes. Good to see you. Okay. I will see you upstairs when this class is over. Love you. Okay. You can say hello quick if you want. Or... Hello. Okay. Okay. Right. Very nice. Thank you. Okay. We're going to start. Okay. We're going to start. Yes. Okay, so we're going to get back to business. We're going to slowly be working our way into physics here. Just a little bit more housekeeping again for those of you who we're going to get to know each other better today. Someone just let the dog in. Okay. We're going to get to know each other better today. We're going to get to deal with homework. Okay, let me bring you up to date with homework assignments and this and that. Many of you did game turn 1 right in front of me in class last time, like I asked, and you got the points right then. That was great. Thank you. I didn't put any comment on it if you did it right then, but you got the points. Hopefully now we, and if you're new to this class, you now understand, hopefully, that game turn thing is a thing that happens every single day, or every single class day. It's technically optional, but the points really help a lot. And all you had to do was what you did. Great. Then some of you turned it in later that night, still on time. If you turned it in later, then you hopefully got it back and you got back a quick comment or you read a little red pen, like hello on it. If you turned, this is a long way of saying, just to keep the house, I want to try to keep housekeeping even a little bit better this semester than last. So if what I'm saying right now, the takeaway of this right now is if you have turned in game turn 1, then I believe you should have gotten it back. Maybe not comments, but that you got the points, all 5 points back. That's a way of saying, if you believe you've turned in game turn 1, but you didn't get it back, unless you just turned it in like in the last 5 minutes, direct chat me or tell me, because I believe, because I should straighten that out. I believe you all got it back. Game turn 1. Game turn 2 is from today's class, due at midnight tonight. Same routine again. If you did it once, you just do it like that every time. Just any mode of participation you can record. On a similar subject with game participation points, hopefully you'll notice now, all of you, that in Google Classroom as of a few hours ago, well, first of all, hopefully you all noticed that at the end of last class, you got 1 page of notes, a PDF uploaded in the Google Classroom called Class Notes. All it was a title page because I didn't take any notes that day, but just so you see how it works and how they get organized, it's there. If you didn't see that, you should let me know or ask a classmate, but you should have gotten 1 stupid like placeholder, just title page of class notes from the first class. Also, you should have seen that a video from the first class, even if we didn't do that much physics, but whatever, if you missed any of it, the video was uploaded to YouTube, the recording, and put in Google Classroom. If you don't see it in Google Classroom, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, please let me know that happened. But then also, as of today, hopefully you saw in Google Classroom a bunch of game participation point portals got opened up, a whole bunch of them, like, I don't know, like 7 or something, all technically due May 17th, which is just to say that you have all semester to use them or not, or to use them repeatedly. Hopefully it's getting clear now that they're portals like if you ever use video, if you ever show video, for example, like Carolyn is today or Amanda is today. Okay, if you use video, anytime you use video, just submit a screenshot or a quick note into that video portal anytime you want. You get the points for that. You can, and every day you show video, you can resubmit into that portal whenever you want before the end of class. Okay. So all those portals that just opened up today, they're all super optional. They're all to do at any time, but just take a note of them, read them, see what kind of participation opportunities there are for reward. But hopefully you saw, in fact, I should wait. Okay, let me just stop and check. Can I just get an electronic show of hands? Am I right that those all did get uploaded? Like, do you see those on your? Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Savannah. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Okay. Awesome. And thank you, others. Okay. Also, hopefully you see that if you did assignment 1A, which was quick and informal, was basically like jot down five words that sort of summarize something that I very quickly said at the end of last class. Homework 1A, very quick, very informal. But if you did it at all, if you submitted it before it was due, then hopefully you'll see you got you didn't get any comments on that either, because there was nothing really much to comment on, but I read them, I saw them. If you did it at all and you did it on time, you got the 20 points. Just so that we're on the same page. If you feel you did it, but you didn't get it back, you should let me know. Like, getting it back just means that you got 20 points for it. I'm going to refer back to that assignment. I'm going to today, I'm going to speak again about what the purpose of that strange thing was. But if you just did it at all on time, you got the full 20 points. If you didn't do it and you end up doing it today or something, fine, I'll totally take it. On that one, I might not give all 20 points because it's a little bit silly, but do it and I'll give a lot of points. Okay, so again, if you did something, any of these things, and you didn't get it back, you should let me know. Now, finally, the bigger issue, the thing that's really on the table that will really get us into physics, back into physics here, is homework 1B. That's what we're going to start really dealing with today. That's what we're going to start dealing with today, is homework 1B. That's where the physics and the math really get rolling. Let me be clear about that one then for a minute. With homework 1B, I had sort of cautioned you that it might be hard and then it gets harder, and it would be very hard. It would be very hard to honestly do the whole thing before yesterday's class. But I asked you to make like an attempt on a first draft. Every single one of you that made an attempt, that turned in anything, that if you turned in anything for homework 1B before class time today, then you've gotten it back with no comments yet, but with 27 points. That is not your final score. Hopefully you view that as a good score, right? But that just means you've already automatically gotten 27 out of the 35 points just for the fact that you're like on schedule and you're ahead of the game and you're trying. You're still going to get all the rest of the points, presumably, especially those of you who've already made a crack at it. Most of you didn't finish it yet. As soon as we finish it, you'll get all the 35 points. Or if you end up finding you have to correct certain answers, fine. But I just wanted it to be acknowledged that you're already hitting the ground running with the 27 points if you've already taken a stab at it. But no matter who you are, and again, if you think you turned it in, if you think you turned in some kind of attempt to homework 1B, but you didn't get even a number back, then you should, I mean, all you would have gotten back is a number, but if you didn't, oh wait, okay, there is stuff in the chat, and look, and there's someone in the waiting room. But let me just, so all I'm saying right now is if you turned in some kind of attempt at 1B, then you have gotten a big like starter set of points on it already. And you have not gotten comments, but you would have gotten points. If you didn't get the points back, I would like to know. But everybody else is still, but you're all still going to have an opportunity to get all the rest of the points. I'm going to address that in a minute, but there is something in the chat. Hang on a second. Oh, okay, fine. Direct chat person, fine, totally get it. No problem. I thought it was like, yeah, no problem. Thank you. Okay, we're going to start. One last thing that you may have noticed, like hopefully those of you who already have tried the homework, you see, I'm acknowledging your efforts, and hopefully you see that numerically. Like it's known that you already got yourself ahead of the game. But now, nonetheless, you may have noticed that I've already now scheduled an extension, or I've already rescheduled that assignment. Like even on official terms, everybody still has at least till not even this Wednesday, but a week from this Wednesday to revisit it and do more of it, and maybe even get to the end of it based on stuff we're going to start saying in class today. We're going to start helping each other today. I'm going to start going over it. We're going to continue going. We're not going to finish. I'll tell you that right now. Whoa, crazy stuff is happening. Oh, God. And someone's here. 1 second. And I know this is all, God, even to me, this is boring. I know, but I just rather people be confident and clear. You know, I'm sure I've made this joke before, but there's something about physics classes, or certainly at least my physics classes, where at any given moment, it seems like things are either clear, in which case they're really boring, or they're exciting, in which case they're really confusing. It feels like at any given moment, that's what's always going on. And I apologize for that. But right now we're in the clear, boring stage, I think. Except wait, there's a good question in the chat. Oh, very good question, direct chat person. Yes, and there's only one of you. So if you put something in the direct chat, you are the person I'm talking to. And that's a great question. Great question. Yes, I will address that in one moment. Thank you. Okay. Let me get the board going. Yeah. So what I'm saying, I will address that in 1 second. That's awesome. What I'm saying to everybody right now is we're going to start dealing with homework 1. It's going to take us a while. It gets harder and harder. There's a lot going on in homework 1. We're going to be on it for a while. So already and this was always part of the plan. It's always what happens. So all of you still have till at least a week from this Wednesday to make whatever attempt and try your best to get as many of the points as possible. And if you've already turned something in, you might improve it from everything we say today or do today. But we are going to be on homework 1B for a while. The games and all those just happen in the background while we're doing that. There's not going to be any other new homework, but it's all about, and any looking at old notes that you want to do from the prior physics class or even a high school class or going on Khan Academy or whatever, feel free to research around and try to get yourself as familiar as you can with anything about springs. And then I'll show you what we're doing with it. I will tell you right now, and I'm going to get to the question that's in the direct chat. I won't forget. And then we'll see if there's any other questions. But by the homework 1B is meant as a transition from the seemingly prior material, like in principle, classical physics 1 type material. It's meant to transition us to the new material of physics 204. So it sort of starts with, in theory, a little bit of review and refresh, but then it gets to a zone that is definitely not review or refresh. And I will warn you right now that by the time we get to the very last question of homework 1, by the time we get there, we've already had to review forces and accelerations and work and energy, kinetic and potential energy. And then by the time we get to the very last question, we will be establishing something called a differential equation, which is some advanced math. We do some advanced math in this class. I'm telling you right now, the goal of homework 1 is to get us there. That's why we spend a long time on it. It's a transition from level 1 physics to level 2 physics. I want to warn you right now to take homework 1 seriously and take a while with it. Understand, by the time we get to the last question, we're getting ourselves up to differential equations. It is not an assumption that you have seen differential equations before. It is not. I am not assuming. I am assuming that you've taken some calculus. I am assuming that, and we'll talk about that. I am not assuming that you've ever taken a class called differential equations. I don't want you to have ever taken a class. I'm not assuming that you've learned differential equations before, but I am assuming that you're equipped enough and confident or, ready enough from whatever physics you did before and whatever calculus you've done before, that we're going to take ourselves from the beginning of homework 1 to the end of homework 1 is a little bit of a journey of transition into a realm of math known as differential equations, but we're going to get ourselves there. But that's why it's really important to try your hardest to see what you know and what you don't know and what you need to ask about all the stages of homework 1. And that's why we're going to take a while on it. Okay, having said all that, and you can put more questions in the chat, but there is this other good question in the chat. I'm really glad. So at least one person in the direct chat apparently has looked through all the game portal things that I put up and I guess most of them seem fairly clear, I hope, I guess, to him or her, the person that's asking this question. But there was one that stuck out to him or her that was not obvious what I meant, and fair enough. And so the one that he or she is asking about is there's one portal, one of the game participation portals that's called Your Best. And it's worth like a lot of points. It's worth like 20 points or something like that. And yeah, it's worth noting this one. This Your Best, totally optional, of course, but the idea behind Your Best is once we've got a little bit into the semester and turned in some work, once you've turned in a couple of homework assignments, and or once we get to the first exam, once you have a piece of work that you really think is among your finer pieces of work, a piece of homework, or maybe even a day where you took really awesome notes in class, like you really got something out of class and you took a ton of notes and your notes are really good, or da-da-da. Basically, what I'm saying to you is at any given moment in the semester, you feel free to take whatever you think is your signature product from this class to that point, either your best homework assignment, your best note-taking day, or your best exam once we've gotten to the midterm exam or something like that, and put it in the portal. And of course, then a couple weeks later, if you do something better, swap out the old and put in your new. But basically what I'm saying is if you take advantage of that portal and at any given moment, once we have a little work accumulated, if you just sort of make a conscious decision to place what you think is your best work in there and have it stay there until better work supersedes it, that's a really wise thing for you to do. And I'm encouraging, and I will give you 20 points for just doing that. I don't care what the quality of the work is. If you just do it, if you just elect to put what you think is your best there, you get automatic 20 points for just doing that. But the other, just whatever your best is to that point. And then again, when you do something better, take out the old and put in the new. I used to make a really big deal of this. Sometimes, some semesters I do and sometimes I don't, but I'm glad someone's asking me to explain it. The whole purpose of that portal is, again, that my grading philosophy and my like life philosophy is, yes, I have to reduce each one of you to one letter grade or one number grade by the end of the semester, right? You do all this stuff, you show up to all these classes, you do all these labs, you do all this work, you go through all these stress roller coasters, you have good days and bad days, and of course, so do I. And then at the end, we have to reduce your entire semester of participation to one number. And that one number is called an average, right? And that is fair. That is life. That's what we do in the lab too. We take a bunch of data values for whatever we're measuring. And then we take all these measurements. And at the end of the day, we take one number that we think best represents all of that variation because we have to, right? And it's called averaging, and it's a reasonable thing to do. And we're going to do it in class, and you do in the lab all the time. But here's the thing: yes, it's reality that I have to distill each one of the performance of each one of you down to one number that summarizes everything for the whole semester. Yes, I have to do that, and I will do that. But one thing you'll learn in some of the math of this, if you haven't already, is there's more than one way to take an average. An average means the one number that represents a whole list of varying numbers. An average is a number that best represents a whole set of numbers. How you compute that average, there's many different ways. As you already know, there's mode, there's mean, there's median, there's arithmetic mean, there's geometric mean, there's all, right? There's all kinds of different averages. So my argument in life, or my philosophy in life that hasn't gotten me fired yet is, okay, I've got to record an average for each student in a class, but I'm allowed to compute that average any way I want, as long as it's the same way for all students, as long as it's fair and transparent, right? So part of my philosophy is the one number that I reduce each student to doesn't need to be their middle. It doesn't need to be their most blah day. I think everybody, like, people have bad days, but whatever the best is that you do is the thing I'm going to remember you for. It's the thing I'm going to write a graduate school recommendation based on, blah, blah, blah. It's your potential. It's your capacity to make your most amazing contribution to your next stage of life. So to me, it's really helpful. The first thing I want in my mind when I'm about to record a grade for you is, A, what was their best day? What's the best thing they did? And B, what do they think is their best? Like, if it, you know, that's helpful information. So if you just constantly put, so if I'm ever on the fence or trying to, I'd like to know really quickly what's the best thing this person's done. Let me let that at least be in the forefront of my conscience when I'm doing all the other math. Let that pull me along rather than the day that they pissed me off or the day that I forgot about them or something. So I'm just saying, as an option, use that portal to keep your best piece of work, even if it's like whatever, something that I would never have seen otherwise. Maybe it's a piece of physics that you did because you're in the honors program and you had to do a what do you call it thing? I forget. But if you're in the honors, sometimes people use the science class as a not capstone, but anyway, whatever. Maybe you didn't even do it for this class, but somehow you think it would be important for me to see. Anything that you think you would want in the forefront of my consciousness on the day that I have to submit grades. I'm not saying I'm going to change the math rules for you. I'm not saying that I'm going to create new rules for any one student, but I'm saying my rules include that everybody should get the best chance that they can possibly get. So put your bet. So I'm sorry, I'm getting off on a whole tear, but I'm really glad that somebody in the direct chat asked about this, because I would have forgotten to talk about it. Use that portal to just constantly have in there a reminder to me or a signal to me of what you consider to be the best, your best, what you're like when you're at your best. I'd rather have that influence my judgment of you than anything else. And I'd also rather see that you know what your best is. So, okay, if that was, okay, shoot. And I just got, all right. And the person who asked just said, got it. Thank you in the chat. Actually, he or she probably said, got it. Thank you, like 45 minutes ago. And I just noticed it. But that person who asked the question should definitely submit. Not only they participated today, right? But they should also definitely submit into that portal that says closing a conversational path. I hope you all get this. Like, he or she should take that same screenshot and at least double dip it. There's probably other places they could put it too. But that's what I'm saying to everybody. Just every time you do something good, just remember it and tell me and get the points for it. There's no punishment for bad. There's just lots of rewards for good. Okay, good question. Sorry to go so, and I'm going to make a portal for anybody who has the guts to tell me to shut up when I should shut up, because I really should shut up. All right, I'm going to put the board back. All right, so that was that question, but keep the questions. I would rather take a long time on one of your questions and a long time on one of my thoughts. Okay. So we have to start dealing with homework 1B. We have to start dealing with homework 1B. What I'm going to do now for a brief period of time, very like about 12 minutes, I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. Change the view of this for about, oh, hello. I'm going to try to put you in breakout rooms. Yes. For about 12 minutes, randomly assigned. You're going to go into the breakout rooms for about 12 minutes. In the breakout rooms, I would like you to share, collaborate with each other on whatever progress you have so far on homework 1. We're going to come back and I'm going to start lecturing about it. But again, I want to make it clear to everybody. I like everybody to make a first attempt without me saying anything. Then I like to say things, and then you are all welcome. Once I start going over this, we're probably only going to get to question 1 today. I'm telling you that right now. But as I start progressing through going over this homework, it's not cheating for you to start using what you get out of class to either complete or improve your homework. And it's not cheating to use whatever you're getting from each other or online to complete or improve the homework. Your goal at all times, many of you know this is my philosophy too, your goal at all times is to get information and understanding from wherever you can get it, from me, from your colleagues, from the internet, from books. Get information wherever you want, and you don't have to cite it because it's all, public information. None of that is cheating to get information and understanding and help from wherever you want. But once you get that information from a friend or from me or from the internet, then write it down as your homework if and only if you actually understand it. The one thing that is cheating in this class is writing down things that you don't understand. If you get a piece of information, in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to have you help each other and stuff. If you get a piece of information from somebody or from the web, and this will probably happen on question now, on the last question. Probably some of you will start finding some things on the web that will help on the last question. And probably many of you will think that you cannot possibly do the last question unless you get some information on the web, because probably most of you will think that I've never once told you how to do the last question, and you'd be correct about all of those things. But whatever you get from a friend or whatever you get from the web is going to be like equations and stuff that you've never seen before. Do not just write those down as though they're true just because they came from the web. They probably are true. But what you need to do is either figure out why they're true and then write that stuff down, or if you want to be super honest or whatever, you're allowed to write something down and say, like, I found this equation I found on the web that A equals negative omega squared X or something. You can write, I found on the web that A equals negative omega squared X, and that seems to be helpful and seems to help me solve this problem. But I don't understand what omega is. That's a perfectly reasonable thing to write down. That's perfectly honest. Now, I'll tell you, one of the advantages of writing that down would be that then that might prompt you to start looking on the web to find out what omega is, and so on and so forth. But even if you, and that would be ideal, but even if you don't, at least you've made clear, just don't lie about what you do or don't understand when you write things down. So I'm going to put you in breakout rooms for a minute. You're going to help each other. The rooms will be randomly assigned, but what I want in each of the rooms is, first of all, anybody who's already taken a stab at this homework, please openly help the people that have not started. Help them get started. You're not in competition. We're all trying to get A's. First of all, those of you who have done started the homework already, please help those of you who have not. And second of all, those of you who are familiar with the 5-step problem-solving method, from last semester, those of you who are familiar with it at all, please help those of you who are not, like, show it to them, because I am expecting, when I ask for this homework to be turned in, I'm expecting it to be turned in according to the 5-step problem-solving method. So in each of the rooms, there may be I'm going to ask when we reunite in 12 minutes. You're not going to get very far. None of us are going to get very far. But in any room, whatever mix there is between people who started, people who didn't start, and people who know the 5-step method and people who don't, I would like those two mixtures to inform the exchange of ideas. So when we come back, I'd like everybody to have at least, so everybody will have started the homework and everybody will have some familiarity with the 5-step method and know that that's what we're looking for. Okay, so we're not going to do this all period. We're going to do this for about 12 minutes. I'm going to first ask, before I do the breakout, can I get a show of hands? Is it clear what we're about to do? This one. Okay, cool. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you all. Great. All right, that is definitely a quorum. Okay, awesome. Thank you. I wouldn't mention you all by name, but it pretty much is all of you. Okay, cool. And there's no questions in the chat, so I'm thinking it's clear. All right, so I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. Again, this is just going to be for, but please do interact in the breakout rooms. Here we go. Here we go. Here we. They are random, I promise you. They were done by the computer. So here we go. Please go to your room as assigned. Yeah, hold on, let me just stop this recording and then